Today, we're going to be going over the best players right now in college football 25 at every single position. Now, I'm going to be picking these players off basically based off of what abilities do they get, do their stats meet certain threshold, obviously how good are their stats, and my experience either using these cards or playing against them in game. We got a lot of players to get over, man, so let's go ahead and get right to it. We're going to start this thing off with the quarterback. It's only right. The most important position in football is the quarterback, so the best quarterback in the game right now, in my opinion, has to be Jalen Milroe, and I don't think that's my opinion. I think we can all vouch. His price tag is, understandably why he is the fastest quarterback in the game at 90 speed, and they don't really drop too many crazy fast quarterbacks in this game, and I see why, because when they do, they're virtually unstoppable. Let's be honest. Like, when you go against a Jalen Milroe or even a Braxton Miller, they're very hard to stop because of their mobility, and not only that, but Jalen Milroe's got a big arm, 92 throw power. His accuracies are extremely good. He can make all the throws. He's got a really good release. There's a reason why he's the most expensive quarterback in the game. If you can't afford Jalen Milroe, it's completely understandable. He's very expensive. There's other really good options. Braxton Miller, I would say, is the second best quarterback. He's also very fast. He's a lot of coins as well. Third option is Jameis Winston, who I actually use a quarterback. He's really good. He's not obviously anywhere near as fast as those guys, but he's really accurate. He's got a really big arm. But Jalen Milroe is it's not even a question, best quarterback in the game. The best running back in the game, I'm actually going to go with CJ Spiller. Now, there's a lot of different options at running back. It was a really hard decision, but I ended up going with CJ Spiller. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, 90 speed, 90 excel. He's got a really good break tackle, a nice change of direction, and he also has a really good spin and juke move, which goes a very long way with me. Because being able to make plays in the open field with your players, I think, is something you just cannot take for granted. Kenneth Walker, I was really debating putting him over CJ Spiller. They're very similar in speed, but CJ Spiller is actually a little bit faster than him because he has a better excel, and he's also just a little bit bigger than him, and he's got a better, I think, overall just being able to get elusive in the open field compared to Kenneth. Marshawn Lynch is another really good option. He's not going to be able to get, you're not going to be able to get as sticky with him in the open field as CJ, but he's a really good power back. He's going to, make a lot of stuff like that happen. Those are kind of my top three backs right now, but CJ Spiller, I think, is better than all of them. We can't forget about the fullback, man. We cannot forget about the fullback. I know some of you guys love your I form or whatever, crazy formations you like to run. They haven't really actually dropped any fullbacks so far this year, which is pretty understandable because there's not really too many college teams that are really using a fullback. So Caleb Driscoll kind of wins this thing by default because there's no other fullbacks in the game. Now, if you did not play during Season 2, you can't even get this card, sadly. So you're actually able to upgrade him to a 91 overall if you decide to use your token on that. I don't know if any of you guys actually did. If anybody out there actually used their token to upgrade him to a 91, let me know down in the comments. So for the best receiver in the game, I'm actually going to give you guys two names just because when it comes to the wide receivers, there's a lot of wide receivers, and most of you guys might be using three receivers out there, maybe even two receivers. You see, you're using a couple of them, so I'm actually going to give you two names for wide receiver, and one of them is going to be this guy right here, Xavier Restrepo. I personally think he's the best receiver in the game, hands down. And he is a free card. There's really no excuse not to have him on the field. He's free. All you need to do is, I'm assuming you can still do it. You just had to play like solo seasons. It was like a certain game mode, and you just complete it. It'll give you tokens, and you can upgrade him to a 92 overall. 93 speed receiver. Now, I know he's a little short, 5'10". To me, it's not a big deal because at the end of the day, you're trying to get guys open to throw them the ball, and that's what he can do. He has really good route running. He's really fast. He's also, you can make plays with him in the open field. Best receiver in the game. Now, a really good receiver that you can pair with Xavier Restrepo is Deshaun Jackson. Now, Restrepo is free. Deshaun Jackson is not free. He is going to cost you a ton of coins, but his play on the field is going to speak for itself. He is also 5'10" as well, but 92 speed. Really good route running. You're going to be able to make plays with him in the open field. And there's a lot of good receivers. Some of you guys might say Marvin Harrison. What's he, like 6'4", really tall, But Deshaun Jackson is he's just really fast, man. And that's something in this game you cannot take for granted. Having like these extremely fast players that are just faster than everybody, it is very noticeable on the field. Best tight end in the game is going to Luke. I think it's Luke Lackey. I don't really know how to say his name. Sorry for mispronouncing his name, but he is the best tight end in the game. 91 speed. He is the fastest tight end in the game. He also has 94 excel. This guy with the ball in his hand is going to fly down the field. His route running is disgusting. 94 short, 90 medium, and 86 deep. His route running is really good, almost of a wide receiver. He's even got 80 run blocks, so he can not only can he go down the field and catch passes, but the guy can run block. And I don't now there's also a lot of really good tight ends, but you're definitely going to notice a big difference with having him on the field. But problem is, once again, this player is going to cost you a lot of coins, because the only way to, well, there's two ways to get him: either go in the gauntlet, get 9 wins, or buy him off the auction block. We're now officially moving on to the offensive line. Now, as I'm making this list, I'm looking through everything, and I'm noticing there's not a lot of good offensive linemen, and there's a lot of high overall offensive linemen, but a lot of them, like, their stats are really weird. Like, they'll have a lot of really good stats, but then they'll have a certain stat that's really low that does not make the card really good anymore. So how we're breaking the offensive linemen up to, it's just going to be offensive tackles, so that could be either left tackle or right tackle. Offensive guards could be a left guard or a right guard. We're breaking it up like that. So I'm going to give you 2 offensive tackles, though. The first one's going to be this guy right here, Amari Knight. In my opinion, I think he's the best tackle in the game. Just looking at his stats wise, 6'7", 318. He's a straight diesel. I think he has overall the best, just, you know, very balanced stat line between run blocking and pass blocking. A lot of these linemen, you'll see they have really high stats and it all looks really good. But then, for example, a pass block finesse would be like an 80 or like an 81. That's not good. Like, that's a very important stat that you just can't afford to have low. And Amari Knight is he's just really well balanced, and I have him as well. Another really good tackle that I would put on here is Ty Bunchanen. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know if I said that right. I know you're looking at some of his stats, you're like, whoa, 82 awareness. You're seeing some of his run blocking stats aren't too good. But I'm looking at an offensive lineman, and I'm a guy that runs the ball a whole lot. I am more worried about your pass blocking stats than your run blocking stats. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And I run the ball out. I'm a run first guy. I will run the ball till the wheels fall off. But that is what's more important to me. And his pass blocking stats are really good. When you look at a lot of these 91 overall linemen, something that just glaringly you'll see is either their pass block power or their pass block finesse will just be really low. And I'm not just saying like an 85 or an 86. No, it's like 80s, 81s, 82s. That's not going to work with me. It all has to be high, because that leads to some nasty, you know, some nasty stacks you just don't want. So same thing with the guards. I'm going to give you guys 2 guards that I think are really good. The first one's going to be this 90 overall left guard, Thomas Remick. He's actually the highest overall left guard in the game. He's also going for a lot of coins because he's like really the only like kind of usable left guard. He's got really good pass blocking stats. His run blocking stats are not that good, but look, he's going to give you time to throw the ball. The other guard that I'm going to go with is this right guard, 89 overall, Preston Wilson. This is actually the guy that I have right now. Another guy with not really the best run blocking stats, but he has relatively pretty solid pass blocking stats. And I also have him on my team, so I can speak from experience. He's pretty solid. This right here is going to be our very last offensive player. Got to go with the center, Reese Dismukes. I think that's how you say his name. He's a very recent player, just came out for Legends. He's just the best center in the game. Once again, does not have the best run blocking stats, but look at those pass blocking stats, man. That's some of the best pass blocking stats in the game, I gotta say. We are now officially on the defensive side of the ball, and first thing is we're going to start off with the cornerbacks. I'm going to give you guys 2 cornerbacks. A lot of positions I'm giving you guys 2 players, just because in that position group there might be like multiple players you're using on the field at the same time, so that's kind of why I'm doing that. So for the corners, we're going to start off with Benjamin Morrison. This is the LTD player for season 3, 93 speed, 93 excel, one of the fastest corners in the game. I think the fastest corner in the game. He's also got 92 zone. If you're a guy that plays zone coverage, you are going to be in love with this card. Now, he only has 85 man coverage and 84 press, so if you play a lot of man, I don't know. I play a lot of zone myself. I like to mix in man here and there, and I can tell you right now, this guy would be a dream come true on my team. Picking the corners were pretty hard because, like, there isn't that many corners that are very balanced that have a really good zone and a really good man. And if they are balanced, it's to where it's like, it's too balanced to the point where like one's not like crazy or anything like that. So I just pick these players out based off who I want on my team. So for the other corner, I would have to go with Darqueze Dennard. I think that's how you say his name. I could be wrong. 92 speed corner with 91 zone. I mean, that's just, you know, a lot of stats that are over 90 I've noticed on defense. Well, zone coverage, mostly zone. It's zone and man. I'll say zone and man because Travis Hunter I have him on my team, and he's got like a really good man. And I noticed that. And the same thing with zone. Like these players with the higher zones and mans, like you will notice it on the field. Like these guys that they jump routes, they make plays, and they're just overall really good in coverage. So once again, if you're a guy that likes to play zone, this is going to be a really good card. So the safeties were a little bit tough because they have not really dropped that many safeties right now in this game. Like I was looking at it, and I'm like, wow, that's probably the most, like I would say the most lacking thing is good offensive linemen and safeties. The best safety in the game, I would have to say, is Ed Reed, and it's probably by a long shot. Like it's not even close. 90 speed, another guy with that 90 zone. I have him on my team. I've had him on my team for a pretty long time now, and he's the best safety in the game. Like they're just not really dropping safeties, or guys that they are dropping just aren't really that good. For the other safety that I would say to put out in the field, I would go with Malachi Starks. I don't really think there's a lot of very good strong safeties. I actually run 2 free safeties. I use Ed Reed and Malachi Starks. A lot of the safeties aren't very fast, and they do have a speed. They're lacking a lot of other categories: tackling, pursuit. They might not have very good zone. Malachi has got 88 speed. He's got pretty good zone. If you have some type of strat card, you can get his zone to a 90, which is a really good threshold. He even has a little bit of man coverage if you want to man him up. 6'1", so I think he's very well rounded. Only 88 speed, so it's nothing crazy, but I think he's the next best option. So for the outside backers, I was debating, like, what do we want to look at in an outside backer? Do we want to look at guys that are just straight up really good pass rushers, or do we want to look at guys that maybe have the ability to be really good in coverage? So I was like, you know what, whatever is the best out there, that's what we're going to look at, and we're going to break it down at that. And this guy right here, Jalen Walker, very recent card to come out. This guy is just straight up nasty. 90 speed, 93 excel. He's going to be really fast. 92 strength. Mix that in with his 93 power move. He is going to get to the quarterback and be an absolute problem. For the other outside backer, I got to go with Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews also really good. He's got 88 speed, 89 block shed, and 88 power move. So he's got pretty good speed. He can get to the quarterback. He can also help out in the run game. And something I also thought was really unique about him is he even has 82 zone and 84 man coverage, 90 player recognition. So you can drop this guy in coverage and he can make some plays. So maybe even use him a little bit if you want to. So he's kind of just a do-it-all kind of guy. Go on to the middle linebackers. The best middle linebacker in the game is going to be Luke Kuechly. And I got to say, though, for him being a 92 overall, you would hope he would be just a little bit faster than 88 speed, considering a lot of the other linebackers that are coming out have all been 88 speed. But he's the best linebacker in the game. He's got 88 speed. He's got a 93 tackle. He can tackle. He's got the hip power. He's got the zone. It's pretty much nothing he can't do. He even has an 85 man coverage. So if you want to let him play off ball, he could do that. If you want to use him, he could do that. He's the best backer in the game. For the other backer, I'm actually going to go with this Jay Higgins. He's pretty nasty. I didn't really know too much about this card until I was looking at this, and I was like, whoa, this guy's pretty disgusting. 6'2". He's got a 90 block shed. He's going to be really good in the run game. 93 hit power. So this guy's going to give you the opportunity to try to cause some fumbles. He's got 84 zone, so if you got some kind of strat card, you could get that to an 85, and you know that's a threshold right there. That'll probably make him play a little bit better, or you could just straight up use him. He's got a 90 pursuit. He seems pretty nasty. Now on to the defensive end. Starting off, we're gonna go with James Pierce Jr. This card is still just, he's just so disgusting, man. Like, there was a game I played, I don't know, it was a couple days ago, and he was just wrecking havoc against me, man. Like, in the run game, I couldn't even run to his side. He was blowing up all the runs. He's so fast with 90 speed, 6'5", and I know he only has an 87 finesse move, but with how fast he is, and 90 blocks, he's great in the run game. If you put what's it called, a jump start, you put I think that's what it's called. I always forget what the ability's called. The one where they get off the line really fast. This guy is just going to make plays for you. Now, there's a lot of good defensive linemen to choose from in this game. There's so many really good options, so it's really hard to decide who's better than who, but I had to really factor in a lot of different stuff. And Jack Sawyer is the guy that I decided to go with as like the other guy that I would rock off the edge other than James Pierce. 88 speed, which is very similar to what you're going to get in a lot of the other pass rushers. But with this guy, though, he's got a 91 block shed, 94 strength, mixed in with a 93 power move. That's something you're not getting with a lot of the other pass rushers. And he's 6'5", 260, big guy. Disgusting. This is going to be our very last position here for the defense, and we're going to go with the interior D-line, the D tackles. Haloti Ngata, I got to say, is the best one. Now, I will say I have not really went against a whole lot of Haloti Ngata, but 6'4", 340, 89 power move, 91 block shed, 91 strength. He's 84 speed, by the way, which is really good speed for one of these a behemoth of a man like him. He's going to be great in the run game. And if anything that I've learned from really big D linemen like him, Jalen Carter's and D linemen like that, they really just can't not be blocked. So I'm kind of just assuming a little bit with this card because I don't have too much experience with him. He's also a lot of coins, so I would assume that's why a lot of people don't have him. But I would think he'd be almost impossible to block. And for the other D tackle, I'm going to go Walter Nolan, 6'4", 290, another really big guy, 84 speed, which is really good for elites. Behemoth men, 90 power move, 91 block shed, and 91 strength. Gonna be great in the run game. One thing I do want to say is I don't know why a lot of these newer defensive tackles or just interior linemen that are coming out, they are not getting inside disruptor at all as an ability. I don't know why this needs to be addressed or something. These guys should be getting this. I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't. I don't know. They're getting outside disruptor. Why would I want outside disruptor on Haloti Ngata? We're going to finish this thing off with special teams. Kicker, got to go to Cario Santos. The reason why he has the biggest leg in the game, 91 kick power. I think the next closest is there's a couple guys with 88 kick power, and kick power is the most important thing in my opinion, just because, the farther you can kick in this game, the better. And for our very last position, we have punter. I'm going to give it to Tory Taylor. Now, I think there is also a couple punters that also do have 88 kick power, but the thing that separates him from them is his kick accuracy, 91. They do not have that, so he's tied for like the biggest let-it-get punter, but he's a lot more accurate than the other guys. So, I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever punted in this game, but punters are their position group, so we gotta put them out there. That right there is each position group's best player, in my opinion. If there's a player on here that you guys might not agree with, or you feel like someone else should be on there, let me know down in the comments. Maybe someone that's really underrated that you think should be on there. I'll be honest, a lot of the players that we put on this list, I don't actually have one because, I mean, they're very expensive. I cannot afford them. And a lot of them I do have on this list because I've used them, and they're actually just really good. So if you guys did enjoy this video, man, drop a like. If you're not subbed and you want to see more college football content like this, man, sub to the channel. We got more content coming. That's all I got for you guys today, man. See you on the next one.